You know what? It doesn't suck.
What,
Brad?
It's the PlayStation 5? Excuse me, the DualSense controller.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, they better be sucking in a lot of air.
Into the cooling springs level of Astro's Playroom.
And Brad's going to crack open his PS5 right now on air for everyone. All right, take it away, Brad. Crack that baby wide open.
Those things are pretty
I
cool.
imagine it looks a lot like the Alienware and they're only tighter.
That's possible.
No, they did their chat.
Yes.
The controller, the PlayStation 5 is extremely cool. When used in conjunction with cooling springs, a level found in Astro's Playroom.
That's right. We can't outspeak to anything outside of that level and how
Sounds like you guys are really specific about what you are talking about here.
Who knows? That controller could function wildly differently in every other level of that game. You
could play it in another level of that game. It could burst into flames and kill 100 people. Like, we don't know. And if we did know, we wouldn't be able to tell you.
That's right.
But yes,
show us your hands. Are your hands burned? Are you okay? Can you do that? Okay, Jeff's hands appear to not be burned.
Can't show you my left hand for reasons that I can't get into.
Will become
separate.
Will become clear.
Sony.
Reasons that will become clear on a later date. No,
it's less of an embargo and more of a court order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a whole thing.
So yeah, we put up a video of some Astro's Playroom this morning and talked about that level and the controller, the DualSense, and I feel like I'm probably going to be repeating myself a little bit here, but like, I did not go into the experience of using the PlayStation 5 expecting the controller to be the thing that blew me away, and yet here we are.
It's awesome. The haptic really feedback. Like I'll probably repeat myself too, but like it is a level of fidelity on the rumble and specificity that is when you thought Nintendo was trying to do a thing, this is what you thought it was going to be, because it super wasn't that in the Switch. Like this, it's actually really cool. Like different surfaces as as Astro walks over them and things like that. You will feel the rumble differently on different sides of the controller, depending on which foot he's putting down, all this other stuff.
Oh, wow.
And it should be said that like Astro's Playroom, the Cooling Springs level, seems to be meant as a showpiece for the controller.
Yeah.
Hey, this is packed in with the console, and we're going to show you what the controller does.
It has a bit of a tech demo vibe to it. That's not to say that it's not a playable game. Like, it's totally a game. It's like a nice, simple, little straightforward platform.
It has trophies. You do stuff.
Cooling Springs, at least, is a
nice, Cooling Springs seems like a video game.
Straightforward little platformer with a lot of neat little like celebrations of the life of the PlayStation. You know, the PlayStation brand over the years.
The PlayStation 3 specifically.
Yes, right.
Cooling Springs seems to be devoted to the PlayStation 3.
What do you got in there? Like Sony PlayStation All Stars tribute level.
No, it's less software and more hardware. And more like here's like a big model of
like the camera and
okay.
Like the
iToy,
the gun shell, and the iToy would be a PlayStation 2 peripheral. Which who can say if it's in there? I sure don't know.
Not in Cooling Springs.
Definitely
not in Cooling Springs.
They had rubber ducks.
Yeah,
I was happy with that.
Cooling
the tech demo.
The ducks
Cooling Springs is about that triple. Okay,
that's right. So I'm trying to we have to talk around a lot of stuff here. So
the haptic stuff though, like running around in that level, like it's like the first level is on a beach, and when you're running around on the sand, like the feel of the haptics, like the best way I can describe it is using like tactile kinds of adjectives. You know, like when you run around on the sand, it's got a gritty feel to the way that his footfalls feel. Huh. Like when you run on metal, it's got a clunk. You run on a hollow surface, it feels like kind of an echoey, hollowy. Like it's really precise and really convincing.
Yeah. And that's kind of only, I guess that's half the story, right? The rumble, that feedback is really neat, but it's the triggers, the analog triggers on that thing are fucking crazy.
Yeah, like the haptics are cool, but the triggers are actually like something I feel like I have never seen before.
Or felt.
Yeah, it is like, it seems like you can make it. It seems like you could make that into a GameCube controller analog trigger if you wanted to.
Yeah,
but why would you?
I can't tell. I don't know. In Cooling Springs, there don't seem to be a lot of reasons, but maybe
it's got its uses.
It's got So
let's say you were going to present the player with the option to zoom in on a thing, and you added some extra tension to the trigger so that it was easier to zoom very slowly.
Sorry, I don't mean like why would you why would you do that on a controller? I'm saying, why would you bring another GameCube controller into the world?
Yeah, well, that's they've done it in in as an optional thing. Like if they wanted to do it, it could be done. Doesn't mean that anyone will do it
or should.
But the idea being that like you can that trigger can stop part way, almost like those Elite controllers with the switches, but solely through this kind of whatever their haptic or their feedback mechanism or whatever you want to call it.
But unlike the triggers on the Elite controller where they're using a piece of plastic that they are shoving in there to block the trigger, here you can have it kind of block, but then with enough force you can still push past it,
like a GameCube controller.
Yes, exactly. It's got that click. Gotcha. Got the little click at the end.
So they can kind of insert a click into that if they want to, or they can just make it more tense, like drawing a bow. Like if you wanted to have a situation where you wanted to feel the tension on pulling a bow back, you could pull that back. You could imagine situations where like that controller in a driving game with different road surfaces and that sort of thing. Like, and then this is what the Xbox controller was good at doing. They put rumble in the triggers in a way that for like when Forza Motorsport 7 shipped alongside the Xbox One, you were like, this is actually awesome. I feel different textures of road in the triggers. And so this is like that for the whole controller and then some, plus this ability to have just different levels of tension throughout the throw of the analog stick. And it'll be interesting to see what developers do with that. I think the concern ends up being similar to what we were talking about with the hint system last week, where our third party is going to support this in a meaningful way. Are they going to put in the work to do it when they're also making a PC version and an Xbox version? Or are they just going to go like, whatever, maybe we'll do a little bit, but are they going to give it a full pass the way an exclusive PlayStation 5 game probably will? And that's when I start to get a little bummed out. But it's the controller stuff is super impressive.
I'm excited, because I didn't like the look of it. It looked like there was like a shorter throw on the face buttons. Like they
feel okay. I didn't have any issues with the face button stuff.
A little bit of a mush to them, I guess, but not. They're fine.
D-pad feels about the same.
Yeah. Stick's pretty similar.
Yeah. The sticks feel like I don't know. I say the stick, they might just be because it's a new controller, but the sticks felt maybe slightly tighter.
Yeah.
Which I always like a tight stick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've heard.
I like a good flick back on a stick. And, yeah.
It's got it right there. This is a super minor nitpick, but I thought it was kind of amusing. They're still using the colored button prompts in game, but then on the face of the controller, they're all just kind of black and white.
Oh, weird.
So you can't exactly use that as a guide anymore, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I will say I can't wait for new colors.
Yeah.
I don't like the white, but I don't know. Some people are into the design of this thing. I think it's gaudy.
It's growing on me very quickly, I will say.
Cool.
It feels great in the hand. I think it feels better than the DualShock 4 did. It's got a slightly denser, more sturdy feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Astrobot, the cooling springs level of Astro's Playroom, in fact, it's not even Astrobot. It's a really nice showpiece for what the controller can do, and it's a fun little thing on its own. They kind of break it up with you're running around, like basically there's like 4 levels in the world, and levels like 1 and 3 are on foot, run around punching stuff, and then levels 2 and 4 are like you're in this little springy frog outfit, and so you're pulling the trigger to cock this spring back, and then you're using the motion controls to aim the frog and letting off to spring forward. And there's just pulling that back, the tension in that spring is really nice. It's really fucking neat. And it gives you like an extra chunk in it when you cock it all the way back, it will eventually like you're crouching in Super Mario 2 or something, and you eventually get that super jump. Like if you pull it long enough, it will kind of click in a little bit more for a longer jump, and you'll feel that in the trigger.
I mean, I think that instance literally is the GameCube trigger thing, right? It's got the little click all the way at the bottom.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess they are kind of using something similar to that for sure. You can turn off or turn down the strength of the intensity on that stuff, and I think if you're using I think if your microphone is turned on, the intensity might be a little bit different. I don't know if the rumble is going to interfere with that or whatever, but there's some aspect of that there.
You said you've been rolling with the mic muted on that controller. I had totally not thought about doing that.
Always mute all mics,
Yeah.
but then I guess later on in Cooling Springs, you get on a little ice thing, and there's a little fan that if the controller is not muted, you are to blow into it to make the fan spin. Whereas with the mic muted, you just stand there for a sec and then it starts spinning. And I didn't even realize that was a fan moment until we recorded that video and you blew in the controller. I was like, oh,
so you're just robbing yourself of game mechanics.
Exactly. Yeah.
By not allowing your controller to listen to you at all times.
That's right. Exactly.
That's what they want.
Controller's got a speaker on it. It'll spit audio out of that thing.
Yeah.
But again, I played with headphones plugged in most of the time, so that disables the controller speaker.
I saw going around this one, I think it was Blessing it kind of funny, found that you can plug a USB-C headset into the USB-C port on that thing and it works.
Interesting.
Cool. Yeah. So you don't have to use
cool.
you don't have to use the analog headphone jack if you've got nice USB-C headphones.
Yeah. Huh.
Which is a cool touch that I would not have expected.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's because we got enough photos of ears sent in to Mark Cerny that they were able to kind of backwards engineer that.
Ears for headsets. It's our fundraiser that we're running this year. 24-hour live stream.
That's right.
We need those ears.
That's right.
Gotta get those ears.
Goal.
Yeah.
Send us your ears.
I didn't see, well, I guess we can't. But I didn't see any space to send in my ears. I don't know I wonder if they're
maybe it was in a different level.
Are they actually doing that? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you don't need ears for Cooling Springs, but yeah, I mean, obviously, like more to say about the rest of Astro's Playroom.
Say a fairly limited slice of the experience so far that we can talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, we posted an unboxing this morning. We got that thing out of the box and set it up. We could talk about that.
Yeah, it's a console. You need a stand regardless of how you're going to put it, horizontally or vertically.
Was that not widely known before?
That was in their video.
Yeah, okay,
they definitely put that in their video. But I still think it's like worth pointing out. And I wonder, I'm thinking about like, okay, 5 years from now, when you're seeing a PlayStation 5 for sale, like secondhand at a flea market or a pawn shop or something, will it have the stand? And if not, you're going to be like, well,
lopsided,
it's just wobbly. Yeah,
like you touch it, press down on one side, seesaws back and forth.
Right, just like the PS4 did. Remember, we got the rubber feet that people went all fucking ape shit about.
That's right. Horizontal
almost
stands
like we were talking. Yes, horizontal stands are back, and it clips right on there.
It does.
You set it up. It looks like it's floating a little bit. It's kind of neat.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at it from kind of overhead when it's horizontal, yes, it looks like it's just kind of hovering on the shelf, which is interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's the way the stand attaches horizontally is a little precarious to me. I think we showed it off in that video a little bit. Like it doesn't actually, like it clips onto the back and then it just kind of hangs. Like
I pulled because I have it pretty far back in my entertainment center, and I went to pull it forward and pulled it right out of the stand.
Wow, that's
so actually moving it around on your. Turning it around to maybe plug in cables into the back or something like that might actually be a situation where you're like, shit, I gotta clip it back in now.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that might be a little frustrating in spots.
Like when it's just sitting on your shelf, I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, you need to kind of be careful picking that thing up because the stand just sort of hangs off the back of the clips on the back, and that doesn't seem great to carry around very much.
Yeah, it's not like a screw-in mount or anything like that. I think if you do it vertically, it screws in.
Yes,
right.
I've got mine vertical right now. Yes.
Yeah. I've got mine vertical right now.
You have to. Consoles are exciting.
Yeah. One hand only.
Ask us anything else about Cooling Springs or the packaging of the PlayStation 5.
Just the packaging?
Yeah. I don't think we can.
Or what the contents of the box.
That's right. I don't think we
can't
even talk about using the console itself yet. I believe.
Yeah. Like I've got a headset and the Pulse headset and stuff that I have not.
I want to try that out. Yeah.
Yeah, I have not gotten that stuff out yet. But they did send the accessories, the camera, and some of that other stuff over as well.
Cool.
Though we wouldn't be able to talk about what that did, if anything, either. So, yeah, it's like that with both these consoles in terms of we'll talk about the stuff when we can talk about it, and we'll have more to say over the next couple of weeks, I guess. But I guess first impressions of that controller, and of Astro's Playroom's Cooling Springs level, I would say I am super into both of those things.
Yes, absolutely, same thing.
Cool.
Extremely positive react. They over delivered on that controller a lot.
Yes,
that's awesome.
And yeah,
and Astro's Playroom is free, right?
It is free. It is, yes, it is.
Okay.
It is installed.
Pre-installed.
Yes,
pre-installed
right there on the console.
Nice.
Don't even got to download it. Yeah, that thing is just super endearing. Like, it's super charming. Just the nostalgia blast of that thing. I guess I won't say too much more than that. But it's very likable.
Yeah. Have we tried? Someone in chat asking, have we tried the new trophy stuff? Maybe we have, maybe we haven't. I don't know. The documentation seemed pretty specific about talking about the experience of the PlayStation 5 outside of that thing. So
stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yes, indeed.